projects. Mine was called Project Sprout, and Angie's is called Cycles. So you'll see that that's a little different when you get up here. So it's just not printed in there.
Learn to trust you. It was on the last slide.
It's a flip presentation. You did
Yeah.
the first-
Yeah. It's on.
Is there video or audio?
At the very end.
We've got plenty of time. We may have to do it manually. We'll get you.
That's the second slide.
That's showing that's your first slide.
What was your first slide?
Right here.
Because this is what we have as our first slide.
This first
It's
one.
on.
That was what was sent, because we can bring that. All right, we can do it.
Yeah, you just have to tell us what's.
All right, so the first slide says 21st Century Greenhouse, and it was a second and third grade collaboration. I teach the third grade, and mine was called Cycles, and that stood for Communities and Youth Collaborate to Learn Environmental Science. And she teaches second grade, which was Project Sprout, We Change and Grow Together. 27 kids, 26 kids, and 31 kids all day long. So that's where we began.
Okay, and our focus starts with second grade standards. We had actually covered a lot of standards throughout our project, but these are the ones we focused on. The first one is observe plants and animals, and with that one, we got a lot of, especially in second grade, I do nutrition. So we focused on nutrition of how those plants are going to help us, and we do a lot of our projects are focused on that. We also, another one is ask questions, make observations, and gather information from our science standards. And then a big one that I used was our technology standard, use a variety of digital tools to produce and publish writing, recall information from experiences. So that's why we call it the 21st Century Greenhouse, because that was a big focus in second grade standards.
And then the third grade standards. Unique diverse life cycles, talked about those with plants and with animals and the different plants and fruits and vegetables. Analyzing the data of the traits, environmental influenced traits, and characteristic advantages. Things that would help them to be able to survive more or less than another species. Our project objectives together were to collaborate, to have life applications of how would they actually use this in their own lives. Technology, be more aware of, and proficient abilities to use technology to get their points across. Okay, on the next slide we talked about partnerships, those who helped to help make this project what it was. First was community support. And that started when our shipments started coming in and they started knowing what we were going to do, right down to the janitors. I mean, they were so excited, and they was like, oh, can we plant something in the greenhouse? Well, sure. And then we had our 4-H extension office, we had the area vocational school, some retired game warden, he came and helped. Our excursion, we went to Bywater Farms to observe their greenhouses and see maybe how we could implement that into our classrooms. We had the soil conservationists come, and they donated a compost that we could start using. It's actually my son up in Votech making some of the planters that we were going to use, that we did well, they actually haven't finished those yet, so we're still waiting for those. Hopefully today.
Okay, the next part talks about the activities. This is just a few of the activities we've done. We've actually started, we were going to start in the fall. We didn't have all the materials, and then things happened with the greenhouse. We couldn't get heaters in there because of different regulations, safety regulations. So we started our planting in the spring, and we started in the classroom with grow carts, and actually put them in cups and put them in the window like we always used to do. And then we brought the grow carts in there, and we did a lot of experimentations with those. Our first one the kids really liked was Ms. Campbell's group used more soil than ours group. We used the pods. They used 2 pods of soil. I only used 1 pod of soil. So we could see was there a difference in growth. And then they brought in their science journals to see ours didn't grow very much at all, and hers grew real quick. So they could see from that the soil makes a difference. We also did experimentations with natural sunlight and then the light from the grow cart. As long as there was sunlight coming through the windows, those grew much better. But then we had the days with the rain and the snow, all the things that happened. Didn't get a lot of sunlight in the windows, so the ones in the grow cart took off. So they could see advantage of those. We also did data collection and analysis as they grew. We had science journals, they wrote that information in. And then we wanted them to see that they had responsibilities. It was their responsibility to take care of those plants in the classroom. And when we took them to the greenhouse, it was their responsibility to make sure that, all those things, we went down and watered them every day. We have cameras up, we checked those cameras to see if anything was affecting our plants and things like that. So, big thing we wanted our 2nd and 3rd graders to do was to say, it's my responsibility, it's not Ms. Irwin's responsibility, it's my responsibility.
Next, we talked about some technologies, or we listed some technologies that we used. With my part of the grant, I did get to get 5 iPad minis. So my kids were super ecstatic about that, and we used those to take pictures and to input some data to make some graphs. We used a digital thermometer, which took the soil temperatures as well as the air temperatures to see, what would be the right climate or how, it affected the growth of the plants. And we used a digital motion camera to see, like she had mentioned, the critters that may be, exposing themselves to our greenhouse, affecting what may be growing there.
We also did extensive research. 2nd graders, when they first come in, they don't know a lot about logging on the computers, and they know a lot about getting on the Google and how to find those games, but they don't realize I can do more than just play games on there. So in the fall, we worked, and through Christmas, we worked a lot on just teaching them how to search, use the search engines and what to do and how to focus that. And then we also worked on QR codes, and in the fall they worked on how can I use my iPad to scan those and find information. We did a lot of activities with that. We're getting ready to take the research that we recently did. My group did research on nutrition of a plant. They chose 1 plant, and they had to find the nutritional value of that plant. And they're going to put that information on a QR code, and then we're going to stick those on the planters or on sticks and put them in the greenhouse so that if someone goes to visit, they can just scan that and say, oh, this is a tomato plant, and this is how it can help me. So we're in the process right now working on those QR codes, and then they all will have some type of technical presentation when they're finished toward the end of the year. We only got 5 weeks left. So right now they've learned PowerPoint. I'm getting ready to teach them Keynote because my desktop has PowerPoint, but my iPads have Keynote. So I'm going to give them a choice on how they want to present. And then I think that's coming up on the next one if you want to go on, the different things we're going to do. So when they do their product, they're going to get a choice. They're going to present about the nutrition of their plant or about the life cycle of the plant, but they have a choice in how they're going to present. They can do the PowerPoint. I have an ebook on my computer, which I have not shown that to them yet, but some of them are excited about maybe just getting recipes for their tomatoes. Or I have a lot that like cucumbers. What can they use cucumbers in? So some of them may want to do that. The flip book with Keynote, we thought that was a good idea, and we're getting ready to teach that next week to them. And then just using that project trailer with iMovie. I'm getting ready to show that to them. Looked at the iMovies, and they're excited about learning, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, some of our next steps, because we didn't get the grant until later in the year, we didn't get to start with the fall planting, but we think that would be probably a much better time as far as our classroom environments to be able to utilize our time more effectively. We're going to utilize the Robinson Center. They had actually given us a plot of land where we could actually grow a garden instead of just a greenhouse. However, with timing, that's not possible right now. And then finding those resources for the heat and light to go in our greenhouse because, again, because of the safety regulations, we were asked not to put the heat and light out there.
And this should
And
be our
this
video.
is a little video that the kids helped in creating about, what all we had learned, if it plays. And it's not gonna play. Maybe a little loud if it does come on.
At the beginning, we had interviewed some students, they all had a list of questions, we did like a survey, and they basically had answered those questions, and they did an interview online, or on the video for us on the iPads. A couple of questions, one was, what's been your favorite part? A lot of them liked the compost, they could go down and turn the compost every day or every other day. They didn't like the smell too good, I think one of them commented about how it didn't smell too good. Another one of my students said she liked putting the cameras down there so she could watch. We have a groundhog, and they know the groundhog's going to get in there when we actually put them outside. We've got them in the greenhouse right now. So when we actually put them outside, she knows the groundhog's going to come and try to take some of their vegetables.
Another one was how, what technologies had they enjoyed most, and some of them had said the engineering part when we used the iPads. Another question was how were they going to use this in their own lives, or how did it impact them, and they were going to be, one of them said that they were going to go home and make soup with all their vegetables, and another said, they wanted to be able to help their parents to create their own.
And then we had some pictures with some music for you.
Didn't work.
Oh, well.
Sorry.